Hey everyone, Meinke here from MLive&apos, joined by Justin Rogers. Quiet opening weekends, Justin, from Calvin Johnson and Adrian Peterson. Chances are pretty good one of those guys isn't quiet 2 weeks in a row. Who you got this week? Who do you think bounces back between Calvin and AP?
Man, how many times did somebody get asked the question about Calvin Johnson? You know, in Minnesota they're dealing with the same thing. It's almost an identical storyline. I think logic just suggests that Peterson's going to be more involved. And it could be both. But, you know, it's a lot easier just to turn around and hand off to a guy. You don't have to react so much to the defense as the Lions have been doing with Calvin Johnson. So I would be surprised if Peterson has less than, let's say, about 18 carries in this game.
So we're talking touches. I'm talking in terms of production.
Oh.
I think Calvin has a chance to get AP. I do think the Lions, the problem last week was not rush defense. Their problem was pass defense, right? And Melvin Gordon had some nice carries and stuff, and I expect Peterson to get the same because he's Adrian Peterson. But Calvin, I still have so much faith in that guy. And we just saw in practice, like he's still the same guy. And you can scratch your head all you want about not targeting him in that game, but I think the Lions do find a way to work him in this week. I think Lombardi realizes there's a breakdown somewhere, and that he needs to get Calvin the ball more. I know they don't want these questions festering into next week, so I think Calvin's going to be involved. I think he'll have a big game.
Yeah, I mean, if he has 2 targets and they win the game, the questions won't be as loud. But Peterson looked like the same guy too. He typically struggles against the San Francisco 49ers, whatever that is. Their 3-4 defense. But there was that one carry in the first half where he dragged about 4 guys an extra 3 yards to pick up first down. That dude is still one of the scariest running backs on the planet. I wouldn't want to have to tackle him. His size speed combination is so rare, and the Lions only allowed 3.2 yards per carry in that game. That's what they allowed all last year, which led the NFL. That's very good. But there were times where you saw holes right up the gut. Danny Woodhead took a couple advantages of those in his touchdown runs. You can't give Adrian Peterson those same holes. If he gets momentum going downhill, good luck.
Yeah, it's concerning. One bright spot for the Lions is I talked to Haloti Ngata in the locker room this week, and he was saying, he was pretty forthcoming in that. Yeah, it wasn't my best game, but I'm still not going to rust off. I didn't practice a lot leading up to the opener, and there's still the scheme adjustment. And I give him credit for acknowledging the fact that he's not as good as he's going to be in a couple of weeks because he's still adjusting to the scheme. He's very honest about that. I thought he was decent against the Chargers. Not great, but not bad. I thought he was fine. He kind of is what he is, but once he's in peak form, he's one of the best run stuffers in the league. He's not Sue with the pass rush and the sacks and all that stuff, but I believe he can still plug a run gap, and Tyron Walker looks like the real deal as well next to him. So yeah, I think you'd expect some improvement in those run fits up front from the Lions.
Yeah, I think that's something people take for granted. Is those guys have been traditionally good run defenders. They're both kind of adjusting to a new scheme, which is attack, attack, attack. Get upfield as fast as you possibly can, hit one gap. And so the way they're playing the run is even different. Nada for years was just on his heels, protecting two spots and kind of letting the play develop. Now he's forcing the development of the play, and he's got to be able to reverse course when that ball's handed off. So those guys are playing the majority of snaps. They're going to continue to play the majority of the snaps. They're the starters. They both can play a pretty good-sized workload, and they're both adjusting to kind of the same thing. So if the Chargers only average 3.2 yards per carry, it seems like
that would be a good spot for the
Lions.
Lions.
That's
for sure.
That's a great starting point, but yet I think there's still a lot of room to trend up.
Real quickly, putting you on the spot.
I love this.
More. Who has the more yards at the end of the day, Calvin or AP?
I'm gonna go Calvin.
I'm gonna go Calvin as well.
Yeah.
I think the Lions offense gets the job done. We'll have more on that in a couple of days. For Justin Rogers, I'm Meinke. We're MLive. Keep it right here.